here, or the exit that you came into the auditorium at the back. And ushers will be on hand to take you to the nearest, or to the muster point. So in terms of the ceremony, a message firstly for the graduates that I can see looking lovely in front of me. Name cards. Hopefully you have all of those with you. Can I see a few nods? A little bit tentative. Yeah, no, you got them. A few waves maybe of the name cards. Excellent, good stuff. You will need those, because when the time comes to be presented here at the front of the auditorium, then you will need to hand the name card to the person that stood here presenting you. Don't panic too much. It's not the end of the world if you do get up and realize, oh my goodness, I haven't brought it with me. We will sort that out at the side, but obviously we can't do that for everyone. It will be probably too tight for time, so if you can, please remember to bring your name cards with you when you come up to be presented. That would be wonderful. So in terms of how the presentation is going to work, as I've mentioned, you will be brought up to this side and lined up to be presented to your presiding officer here in the center of the auditorium. So the person stood here, you will hand your name card to them, they will read your name, and then you will walk across the front of the auditorium here that you see in front of me. Now, normally, or in the past certainly, at our degree ceremonies, we have asked graduates to shake the hand of the presiding officer as the moment of their admission to their degree. Obviously, when we started to do these catch-up events, we figured that probably wasn't the best thing to do, is to be shaking lots of hands. So instead, graduates, what we're going to ask you to do today is to doff your cap. Yeah, you all look absolutely terrified at this point. What on earth is this chap talking about? I don't know what he means. I'm going to do it wrong. You're not. It's very straightforward. So when your name is called, you will walk across the front. You will pause in the middle of the auditorium here, and you will touch the tip of your mortarboard that you're all wearing and just nod your head in the direction of the presiding officer, your dean, before then carrying on walking and returning to your seat. Okay? So there's no need for any elaborate sort of, bowing and taking the cap off. And although you can, some of you may be a little bit more flamboyant than I am, so that's absolutely fine. You're very welcome, but you don't have to. So that should be quite straightforward. Guests, I can see behind the graduates, you have an equally important role, actually, to play today, which is that at Liverpool degree ceremonies, we think obviously that each and every graduate deserves a huge round of applause when they're being presented. So that's what we want you to do. We want you to, in fact, we don't want you just to give a round of applause. We want you to whoop. We want you to cheer. We want you to holler. We want you to really test the acoustics of this wonderful new auditorium, actually. So we just get a flavor of what, you're made of, really. Do you want to just try that? Do you want to give me your loudest round of applause, please? Not bad, not bad. I think we can cope with that. Slight bit of bad news. You are, I'm afraid, going to have to do that about 117 times. But if you can keep that level of energy up, then I'm sure we're in for a terrific ceremony, so thank you. A few final words. Firstly, I'm sure particularly guests, but all of you will want to take photos at points throughout the ceremony. You're very, very welcome, of course, to do that. Can I ask, though, particularly as we are sort of filled to the brim almost today, that you just refrain from standing up and moving around, because obviously you might then block the views of other guests at the important time for them. So if you can, just keep in your seats whilst you are taking photos and what have you. Always a good opportunity, though, to remind you that, and particularly for those that haven't been able to get a ticket for today, that the ceremony is being streamed live on the web at the moment from liverpool.ac.uk/graduation, and you'll find the link to it from there. Obviously, you won't, because you're here, but if any of your friends or what have you didn't know that, then you can drop them a line to let them know they can watch it there. A couple of final points, again on the subject of photos, and I'm sure you've all been taking photos across campus today on the most loveliest of days. Just a reminder that if you are inclined to want to put them up on social, then if you tag them with the hashtag LiveUniGrad, then you'll be able to pick up free prints of those photos from the Mountford Hall when you go back there later for your celebratory reception, so don't forget to do that. And so finally, as we're about to begin, if I can just ask you all to have a quick check on your mobile devices and just make sure that they are placed on silent for the duration of the ceremony, please. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Graduates and guests, can I please ask you all to stand and to give a round of applause for your senior officers of the University of Liverpool.
Please be seated. I declare this congregation for the celebration of our graduates open. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your long-delayed graduation ceremony. I'm Professor Warren Barr. I'm currently the Dean of the School of Law and Social Justice, and during your time here, I was the Head of Department in Law. It's really wonderful to welcome you all here in person at long last. Thank you for your patience. It looks like I'm staring into space. I can't see. I'm wearing reading glasses for the first time, so my apologies. You're all a blur. I would like to say, first of all, what a tremendous privilege and a pleasure it is to be here with you today as we celebrate this important milestone in your lives. It's a delight to do so in person, together with your families and fellow students, and those who've supported you on your journey to graduating from the University of Liverpool. I have been in a position similar to the one you're in today, not as a student at this university, but many, many, many moons ago as a graduate of the University of Reading. I won't reveal how long ago, but needless to say, the majority of you graduating today were some years off being born. Of course, as a youngish graduate, celebrating success, I was not a member of a cohort who had battled and won despite unprecedented challenges like you have. I'll say more on that in a minute. Your graduation ceremony is a day to celebrate and to reflect. And if my fading memory serves me correctly, it's also a day of very mixed emotions. I remember feeling both relieved and proud to have completed my studies, sad that a chapter of my life at university had come to an end, and both excited and nervous about the future and what it had in store for me. For you, as graduates, it has, of course, been very different, because you've been students at a time like no other in our remembered history. Students in universities all over the country, and indeed all around the world, have been hit really hard by the disruption to their education which the COVID-19 pandemic has caused. Your time with us was certainly ended very differently than you had imagined and expected. Your experience and your well-being were always at the forefront of our decision-making, but especially over the course of the pandemic. We had to carefully consider and balance so many decisions around your teaching arrangements and your safety on campus. I know it was not easy for you. It was not easy for any of your teaching or supporting staff either. But we all tried our best to deliver the best possible learning experience. I know you had long days, sleepless nights, and difficult times, exacerbated by these unique global circumstances. COVID-19 has devastated and divided people and continues to do so, but it has also shown the best of human spirit too. Our university prides itself on facing the problems of society and putting our hands up to say we can help with them. The School of Law and Social Justice is an example, and an exemplar really in this regard. It's a unique collaboration of experts in law, sociology, social policy, and criminology, and our research as a group explores issues as varied as the impact of legislation on the legal side to challenging injustice and promoting equality of opportunity. Most recently, for example, we have, of course, dealt with the social issues arising from the pandemic. Just as our university's experts in infectious disease were using their skills to help the world find a way out of the COVID-19 pandemic, our academics in the School of Law and Social Justice have been looking at how the pandemic has affected wider society. A number of funded research projects emerged exploring a huge number of areas, including the following, although these aren't exclusive. The dangers of domestic abuse during lockdown, how children's rights have been impacted by the lockdown, challenging fake news, the legal and social impacts of the pandemic on young people, unaccompanied asylum seekers, and how restricted access to arts and culture in the Liverpool city region during the pandemic has impacted on public mental health and innovation in arts provision. Our research has real-world impact, and if you follow such things in the newspapers, you will notice that we had a research excellence framework exercise very recently reported, which ranks and benchmarks the quantity and quality of research at universities across this country. This placed our law school 10th in the UK for research impact classified as outstanding. Research impact is about the real-world relevance of research and the power to change policy and society. Meanwhile, our social policy research was ranked 3rd, that's 3rd, in the UK for research outputs classified as world-leading, which is 4-star, the absolute top possible category that can be awarded for the quality of research. What that means for you is that you can rest assured that as a graduate from the School of Law and Social Justice, we have delivered on the fact that your modules were research-informed and taught at the very highest level, and your future employers will be very aware of that. And I have no doubt that many, and perhaps all of you, and graduates are celebrating today, will use the knowledge and skills you've gained during your time with us in your future roles to help, perhaps, solve some of the most endemic problems individuals and communities face. You sit here today, as graduates, perfectly equipped to do just that. You're graduating, or have graduated from an internationally renowned Russell Group institution, and now recognised as one of the UK's leading centres for sociology, social policy and criminology. And it's a department that's been around for 100 years, so is known as such. Our courses that you've taken with us are developed to meet the demands of employers, and our teaching is delivered by real experts in their fields. As a research-intensive organisation, as you know, our teaching is research-connected, meaning that whilst you have been provided with a thorough grounding in established methods, usually in your first and second year, you will also have been introduced to innovative and even experimental approaches that have been used and written about by those doing the teaching of those modules to you. This places you in an enviable position in any job market across the globe, and equally puts you in an excellent stead if you wish to continue your academic studies. Graduation, now that it is finally here, is all about you, your achievements and your personal successes here at the University of Liverpool. It's a day to look forward to the future and to feel excited about your aspirations and career, whether they are in a new career or perhaps further study plans with us or with another university. Most of all, it is a day to celebrate everything you have achieved and enjoy this moment with your loved ones, with those you've studied alongside and with those from whom you've learned so much. I think it's fair to say the pandemic has made us all truly appreciate our loved ones and our support networks and the experiences and memories we make together. It's very true that you don't know what you've got until you lose it. I know today that you will find a moment to thank all those people for their support and personal sacrifice, and also to thank your lecturers and teachers and support staff who have provided you with as much guidance as they can on your path to graduation. Today is a day to return to this great city, and for you and your guests to receive a warm welcome from the university, and also, you'll be pleased to see we managed to make the weather play ball for once. We hope that the city of Liverpool will always feel like home whenever you return. You may have chosen to stay here and make the city your home, or you may already have called it home before you joined us in the university. But we hope, whatever your relationship with the city, that it's a place where you have made friends and memories which will last you a lifetime. The city and surrounding region will have provided many of you with important learning and development opportunities, perhaps through our interchange service, which links our students with a variety of local and regional voluntary and charitable organisations, from the Community Voluntary Service to Refugee Action, Liverpool Student Community Action, Victim Support, and Bernardo's through to the Citizens Advice Bureau. Or perhaps, if you're one of our law graduates, through our Liverpool Law Clinic, where you will have worked alongside qualified lawyers to provide legal advice for family, special educational needs, and immigration and asylum cases. Whatever you've done, one thing we all learned from the past 2 years is that we never know what the future holds. Things will very likely change in your chosen professional careers, but some things won't change for you. I'll flag up just 3 things to be aware of. First, the need to be a lifelong learner. For the rest of your career, make sure you commit to always being curious and to asking questions, and always striving to do things better. That's how we make meaningful change. And just as you should always be a learner, you should always be a teacher. Pass on your skills and experience to your colleagues and to others. The second, really emphasized by the last 2 years, is the need to look after yourself and to support one another as friends, as colleagues, and as professionals during your career. We talk often about goals, about skills, about behaviors like resilience, and we probably don't make as much as we should of kindness. Kindness to others and to oneself is an important life lesson amongst the myriad pressures of modern life, and one that we should not forget. And finally, never forget why you wanted to pursue your chosen academic discipline. Remember all the qualities that you've displayed in abundance during your time at the University of Liverpool, and realize that even the most difficult of your experiences will shape how you deal with similar challenges and setbacks in the future, and will also help you make the best of the opportunities when they arise. All of this, I have no doubt, will enable you to enjoy your work and chosen career, or perhaps, given the way things are going, I should more accurately say careers. Our university has had a long, successful history of graduates who go on to achieve great things. We have 9 Nobel laureates within our graduates, and they've led the way in fields from nuclear disarmament to the life cycle of malarial parasites. And our alumni community is full of business, finance, and human resources talent across the world. You have now joined this talented international alumni community, and you are, and will always remain, a fundamentally important part of our University of Liverpool family. Our alumni community supports our students in many ways. Some of you may have experienced this personally while studying here, from delivering lectures and workshops to running alumni networks, offering work placements, and offering mentoring. We hope, like so many of our alumni, you will stay in touch with us. Made so much easier these days through social media, and help guide and support our future students and broaden their horizons through your experiences, particularly once you've left us. It is through you that we are known. You are the greatest ambassadors for the university, and through your achievements, you will also become role models and sources of inspiration for the next generation of graduates. The university has community, and civic mission running through its veins and through its rich history. To this day, we remain committed to this important civic mission in the city of Liverpool and to our role as an anchor institution here. We continue to make real economic, social, health, employment, and cultural contributions to this great and unique city. We are a university that takes immense pride in equality of opportunity and in delivering projects and activities which widen access for students who are traditionally underrepresented in higher education. Learners from low participation neighbourhoods, care leavers, disabled students, estranged students, adult learners, asylum-seeking and refugee students, and students from minority ethnic backgrounds. Knowledge should be celebrated, discussed, and debated, and it should, above all, be accessible to all. It is through the discussion and dissemination of ideas and knowledge that society is shaped. Our aim is to inspire, engage, and enable every single one of our students to fulfill their potential by raising their awareness, challenging barriers, and providing opportunities. Our Victoria building, the red brick one with the clock tower, is now a beautiful and iconic gallery and museum. And perhaps as a student here, you will have walked past a plaque, perhaps daily, fixed to the wall, which reads, "For the advancement of learning and the ennoblement of life." This is the university's motto, and it's a motto that continues to guide us to this day in all that we do. I assume you will if you haven't already, take a graduation photo in front of the Victoria building. It tends to be what people do. It's a rite of passage. If you do, that beautiful and iconic red brick gallery building and museum towers over campus and serves as our most recognizable backdrop in virtually every publication we ever publish on social media. And certainly, you'll see it in your graduation brochure. The ordinary bricks and terracotta dressing selected for the Gothic exterior of the Victoria building led to the coining of the phrase Red Brick University by Bruce Truscott, the pseudonym adopted by Edgar Allan Piers as professor of Spanish at Liverpool from 1922 to 1952, who wrote an influential book of the same title. Indeed, we are and always will be the original Red Brick University, and in turn, you will always be Liverpool Originals. Be glad to know I'm coming to an end. You are the class of 2020, and through hard work, determination, and a strong support network, you have overcome many challenges to reach this point in your journey. Your capacity to think critically, challenge honestly, forged by your teaching staff, your classmates, and our community, will help to prepare you for whatever comes next. This is your well-earned opportunity to take a moment and consider just how far you have all come. You have advanced your learning, and you have and will continue to ennoble your lives. You have been stretched to think beyond the textbook and the lecture theatre. You've been encouraged to apply that knowledge to the world around you. Your University of Liverpool education has enabled you to realise just how far you can go and provided you with all the skills you need to get there. Despite the challenges, and I keep talking about them, I hope that you will also remember many happy and joyful moments during your time at the University of Liverpool. And not only from an academic perspective, of course. I know that through your time here, you will have forged connections and made friends who will stay with you for the rest of your lives. Never forget how important you are to our university. You're the beating heart of our institution. Without you, the university would be nothing more than classrooms and lecture halls. When we work together, the university is a place where discoveries are made, ideas are formed, friendships are forged, career paths are decided on, and lives changed. It is when we work together as staff and students that education is properly transformational. We thank you for all you have done in your time here, and we wish you good luck and every success in the future. I will now invite Professor Susan Pickard, Head of the Department of Sociology, Social Policy and Criminology, to present graduates from our class of 2020.
Professor, it gives me tremendous pleasure to present to you the following graduates from the class of 2020. Catherine Siobhan Ward. Lydia Ivakovic. Oliver Johnson. Thank you. Eleanor Jones. Thank you. Fionn Thomas. Well done. Amelia May Sharp. Oluwade Melade Kofawarala Babalola. Well done. Joseph Powell. Well done. Thomas Adams. Well done. Lucy Jane Kitchen. Well done. Molly Rainey. Well done. Emma Street. Rachel Hewlett. Molly Hannah Turner. Imogen Hewing Powell. Antonia Joanna Christina Walls. Well done. Tyler Robinson. Amelia Jane Potts. Amy Tyrrell. Antonia Chornenke. Clodagh Gilsenan. Bronwyn Thomas. Jessica de Grief. Alice Burke. Zoe Hooper. Joseph Wright. James Twiddell. Ryan Francis Luigi Sorohan. Lauren Louise Granger. Collins Mensah Bonsu. Alice Newcomb. Beth Kilheeney. Beth Philippa Smalden. Cassia Dilnado. Bethan Vaughan Davis. Christopher Dean. Vivian Chi Wai Chow. Anne Lauren Lee. Zoe Rose. Christopher John Winterton. Anthony Joseph Fitzpatrick. Elizabeth Fitzgerald. Bethany May Clements. Olivia Elena Pope. Charlotte McLaughlin. Harriet Rose Badilli. Hannah Temperley. Claudia Chambers. Lucinda Newman. James Fraser. Jennifer Jane Ford. Kerry Ann Leaney. gives me great pleasure now to introduce the university's Learning, Teaching and Student Experience Award. These awards have been established to recognise, value and reward staff who have made an outstanding contribution to innovation in teaching and supporting learning. Our university has numerous examples of exceptionally talented and committed staff who work extremely hard to ensure that our students receive an excellent experience while at university. Teaching and learning at this university is undertaken within a culture of research excellence, and these awards reflect the value we place on providing our students with a high-quality educational experience worthy of a leading Russell Group institution. I would like to congratulate all our award winners, all of whom have achieved distinction in their respective fields. Our award winner has been nominated for his incredibly valuable work developing and delivering the teaching of sociology and visual methods using a problem-based learning pedagogy. Our winner launched an undergraduate final year module, Documentary Photography as Social Research, and a postgraduate module, Photography and Creative Practice, to help students learn about the value of documentary photography to sociology and theories of the photograph, as well as how to create compelling images as data for use in dissertations, arguments, and future research. Rather than teaching photography as a skill without context, technique and theories are taught in the context of where social researchers do research. For example, investigating social interaction, social spaces, and material culture. As a result of our winners' efforts, students were able to improve their digital fluency and their digital confidence, whether composing images or storing them safely, with the aim of creating a single portfolio containing a visual essay on material culture alongside images of public places and objects. And I know that students that took this course really enjoyed the course, both the content and the way it was taught. So, from the Department of Sociology, Social Policy and Criminology, congratulations to Dr. Terence Heng. Professor, I am delighted to present to you the remaining graduates from the class of 2020. Thank you, well done. Elizabeth Kate Dean. Leah Rutley. Rebecca Carter. Amy Stoddart. Jane Connolly. Jessica Roberts. Terry Louise Mason. Oliver Mark Hines. Dina Shihada. Lily May Longhurst. Sam Hassel. Adam Damon Rowe. Teek Min Lim. Alexander James Sulston. Liam Maguire. Hannah Young. Jovandeep Singh Culler. Shantai Jowett. Cara Louise Woods. Lucy Kerr. Stephanie Jade Brogden. Neve Aoife Sullivan Mills. Harry James Clark. Katie Lacey. Siobhan Gisella Lavery. Sophia Ali Begum. Stephanie Jane Francis Price. Francesca Charlotte Lowe. Jamie Mehta. Artemis Michaela Yanni. Gabriella Iono. Amelia Smith. Sarah Brule y Ortega. Isaac Allen Sidney. Benjamin McGee. Alice Elizabeth McGlynn. Catherine Losty. Gabrielle Elizabeth Rose Antrim. Catherine Ann Wilson. Kerry Beth Harland. Katie Louise Mercer. Thomas Colin Hill. Scarlett Ellen Gilmartin. Molly Roberts. Sana Hack. Anne White. Louis Morgan Lloyd-Jones. Ella Anghara Jones. Sitsi Mutamba. Kui Yu Lee. Kalithe Mamboto Ngwadi.
I would now like to invite Amy Terrell to join us on stage to reflect on their student experience. Amy?
Hi, Professor, distinguished guests, friends, family, and fellow students. It is an honour to be here today presenting this speech, regardless of how daunting it seemed initially. As nervous as I might be right now, hopefully I can do our time here at the University of Liverpool the justice it deserves, and at least I'm ending my time at this university the same way I started it, by doing things I didn't think I was capable of, while surrounded by truly amazing people. So I would like to begin by congratulating some of these amazing people, my fellow students. Sorry. Whether you had faith in yourself all along, or whether you questioned your ability to push through with certain assignments, we did it. And finally, thanks COVID, we get to celebrate this accomplishment. Finishing our degrees and graduating during a pandemic only proves to me more that we will go on to achieve so much, despite what life throws at us. And I wish you all the best in doing that, and please now I'll be rooting for all of you. I would also like to thank the people who helped us get here. To the lecturers, academics, support staff, thank you for everything. You guided us to this very moment, even while dealing with your own struggles, such as the strikes. And as difficult of a time many of us students found the strikes, I did some of my most hands-on learning on that picket line, and it's one of the memories that will definitely stay with me. So thank you for creating an environment in which we could learn about how the world works, the ins and outs of the society we occupy, and for giving us the knowledge we needed so we can try to improve our world in whatever little ways we can. To the friends and families who offered support and guidance, whether it was over the phone, letting us rant, soundboarding our ideas, or in person, giving us a hug when we really needed it, or simply bringing us some caffeine during an all-nighter at the Sidney Jones Library. Completing a degree is hard work, both mentally and emotionally, and we couldn't have done it without you all. But it wasn't all hard work. There were moments along the way which made all the effort worth it, like sitting in Abercrombie Square with a meal deal when it was sunny, or spending more time getting coffee and chatting with friends in the library than actually studying there, or even walks into uni with your flatmates giggling about how you nearly poisoned one of them by not checking the date on the milk before making them iced coffee for the walk. Sorry, Clodagh. But it was those silly moments which we'll remember the most, and I think that's down to the people we've been able to surround ourselves with over the course of this degree. Being a student in Liverpool is a unique experience because there's a strong sense of community welcoming here, which is almost tangible. It's home to people from so many places, religions, cultures, and its diversity allows it to easily become home for so many people, ourselves included. For the first year of this degree, I didn't live at halls, and while I still enjoyed the course, it wasn't until I moved to Smithdown into my third year house of 8 people that I truly experienced being a Liverpool student. They showed me a side to Liverpool that I hadn't experienced, despite obviously being born and raised here. The pub nights, the walks to uni, the days in Sefton Park, I gained a new appreciation for these things, and I saw my city through the eyes of students who had never lived here before, and it made me love it all the more. I hope you've all loved calling Liverpool your home over the course of this degree, and I hope you take a little bit of it with you, wherever you end up. Speaking of where you end up, this degree will open pathways for you to be able to do a lot of things. And whether you know what that is or whether you're still figuring it out, I wanted to remind you that life is not a race, and you shouldn't compare your success or timelines to anyone else's. You've made it this far, and the next steps might seem daunting, but I'm sure at one point university seemed daunting. So you can do it and you will do it in your own time. The past few years have shown us that the world is complicated and navigating through it might prove to be a challenge for some of us, but all we can do is try to apply what we've learned, both over the course of this degree, both from the syllabus and from each other, to try to be the change that we want to see in the world. Thank you again for the honour of bringing our university journey to a close with this speech. One final congratulations to everyone graduating. I wish you and your loved ones the best in your celebrations today and in all your future endeavours.
Well, I have to say, Amy, I'm extremely glad I don't have to try and follow that. You make me want to do a degree all over again, if only I had the energy. But thank you so much. It just remains for me to formally close the ceremony. So I declare this congregation for the celebration of our graduates closed. Salve sit universitas nostra, quod precantis consurgamus.
Graduates and guests, please stand.